Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Monday night Tim and Joe show. And I am a sadist, so because Tim has the flu, I'm going to have him do the bulk of the talking tonight, and we're gonna have a good old time here.
Yeah,
Tim, how you feeling, man? Any better?
I'm better, but that's all
Better?
relative.
Yeah. As long
Yeah.
as the stuff isn't pouring out of both ends at the same time, I
Right.
figure that's
Yes.
an
As long
improvement.
as it takes turns, I'm
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
yeah. One time I was so sick with one of the very few
Oh,
times I've ever had any kind of a stomach bug. It came
yeah.
out. I was sitting on the toilet literally at the
Oh,
same time as coming out the other end. I had a pot in front of me, and it was I didn't think the
right.
human body was possible of such things. But yeah, it was a goddamn experience. I just wanted to die. So I sympathize with you, dude. Not good. Not good.
Isn't it funny? Anytime you tell somebody they're sick or if they've got like their injury, they always have a story about like how they're they. It's like I don't want to hear a puke story. I don't want to hear a
Oh
diarrhea.
yeah, of course. That's why I bring it
They're
up.
going to share it with you. They're going to say,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, here." I remember, you know, at work, if
Uh-huh.
what was it? If you'd been to the moon, the other guy had been there twice, or
Oh yeah,
if
yeah,
they'd been
yeah.
sick or play.
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
what the old joke is like, hey, I was at the Last Supper. I know. How'd you like the tip? That kind of thing.
That's true, though. I am. But plus,
Yeah.
is the other thing too is you talk about this stuff that gross you out. You might get a live puking right on camera here. So
Who,
that's always
me?
fun. Yeah. It might. Yeah.
No,
If I talk about how gross stuff, you might like
no, that
dog. You know
doesn't.
what I mean? Start that
No,
the dry heaves.
no.
I remember
Luckily,
my
I'm not
my,
that
my
sick.
brother had to change his son's diaper when he was first, maybe a year
That
old,
might do.
and the kid was disgusted. He was sick. He had the flu.
Uh,
And my brother
uh,
is his turn to change, and I hear him down the hallway doing that, gagging.
yeah.
So I'm yelling out from the kitchen, tuna melt, chili cheese dog, everything that could gross him out and make him nasty. Shut the fuck up, shut up. I got his wife's laughing because it was her turn
Oh,
about
I
an hour
bet.
before. So
Right. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, she probably
yeah,
like, yep,
yeah. Sorry, guys. Daniel can't join us today. He has some internet issues. So
yep.
we're going to get together. We're going to confirm it first. We'll let you know. But it will be a few more weeks, I think, he said. So
Yeah, he's only available like every other week, and then also
we got a convention
he's
coming
got
up
some
or something.
conventions. He's going to GaryCon, I believe he
Yeah.
said. So
Yeah.
that'll be
Yeah.
cool.
Lucky him. Yeah. That's a good deal, man. It's a good deal. So yeah, so he'll be
Heck
here.
yeah.
He definitely said yes. It wasn't a rumor. It wasn't clickbait to get you all in here, all for you. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
which are me and Tim. So
We
yeah,
we gotta do better at clickbait if that's our
yeah.
result.
I got to put better pictures up there. If we want clickbait, it can't be Bones and
I don't know. I
Kirk.
liked our pitch. I like the picture you picked. That was a pretty good one. I like that one
I
a
think it
lot.
was perfect. So we had to scramble for a topic at the last second. It was like, shit, what are we gonna do here?
All right.
So we had to figure a topic out. We're like, well, Rob's guy just died in my game, ingloriously
Right.
so. So I figure, you know what? Let's bust Rob's
Ingloriously.
balls, but really with the pretense of let's have a serious topic that we could talk about. But it's really about busting Rob's balls for dying. You know.
Pretty
So
much.
yeah. So that's you can't go wrong doing that. And I had my brother's game that he was running. We had a death recently in that too, and the
Oh,
guy
did you?
died. Yeah. So I figured death is in the air.
Yeah, I was
So why
gonna
don't we?
say, yeah. Got a little Robert Palmer going in there.
Yeah. Yep. So what the hell? Let's talk about death to
Yes,
PCs and
it's
how it
all about.
fucks up your game. And it really does, because we'll get into it later. But Rob's character's thing was sort of the focus so far. The campaigns go through various different focuses or foci, whatever you want to call it. And Rob's guy's thing was the focus. That was justification for everybody being where they were, right?
Right.
So it's like shit. Now they're gonna have to leave the place because there ain't no. We'll get into that. Let's go to the cool shit of the week before we get into how Rob fucked my game up. All right, son of a bitch, bastard.
I did, and it was I will have to get into it, but I saw that train going down the tracks, and
You did. I could tell, and I saw your face. I'm like, Tim's gonna. He's not gonna say shit, but I tried to make it clear. Anyway,
I know. Well, show me what cool shit you got this week.
That's cool shit.
Right.
All right. Well, I got a couple cool shits. No pun intended, Tim.
All
Sorry.
right.
But I had the Dark Tower, the triple volume that they put out, the volume 7 from Goodman Games. Yeah.
I ordered mine. I ordered one. I didn't get in on the
Oh, really?
Kickstarter, but I got mine on. I don't know if it's a funny story, but I bought it, but I bought it while I was kind of like sick and was real tired. So
That's good. You can blame it on a NyQuil overdose. That's all. That's fine, you know.
I didn't know
This
if I
IV gives
bought
you
it from
shit.
a legit place or something like that. I'm thinking,
Oh God, really?
Yeah, I'm like, but it said from Goodman Games, but then I went on the Goodman Games website and I couldn't find it on my account, like the order. And I'm thinking,
weird.
did I order it from somewhere else? Did I, then I'm like, what the hell? Maybe I got, because I thought I got it for a really good price. I'm thinking, shit, I got this for pretty good.
Phantomware here.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe I just bought it from some guy. Just, yeah. So I actually contacted Goodman Games and I sent him the receipt I have and the order number, and everything looks legit.
Yeah.
And the lady got back to me. She's like, "Oh yeah, it's a legit order." And I said, "Oh, but it just wasn't on my order. Your account order."
Yeah.
I was
they're
like,
subcontracting this out because it's such a good big thing. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of people and all that. But
I don't, because if you don't, how much did you pay for yours, Joe?
Fuck. Let me look it up. Now I have to find it on Kickstarter. It was a Kickstarter. I know that. So
right. I didn't do the
see.
Kickstarter, but I ended up getting it off of Goodman Games. Let me see here.
They must have ordered a bunch of extras,
Yeah.
Shit. It was that Kickstarter is so slow to get into anything, They give it a last date. You want to see the next 12? Yeah, motherfucker. See them.
Oh,
I
know.
All. How hard is it to see them all at the same time, bastards? I know it was a while. Oh, $100 it looks like, Tim, without shipping and handling. So
you paid $100 for yours?
Yeah, what'd you pay?
You don't want
a better deal? You got a better deal than me, you son of a bitch.
I did. For the actual books I only paid $55.
For the 3 books, all 3.
Yeah.
What is this? Like off the back of the truck shit? What the hell, man?
Can you see it?
No, there you go. Yeah. No shit.
Original Adventures Reincarnation, Dark Tower, 3 volume slipcase says $155 and $10 flat shipping.
How was that even possible? What the hell?
I got it for $65.
I
don't know. That's why I said, but and I'm like, did I buy a fucked up?
Yeah, the dented version. You're going to get the most dented version possible, which is
I'm going to get that either way because I get that version regardless. So I might as well pay the discount price for it anyway.
Yeah.
But no, that's why I was. That's what made me worried at first. I'm thinking,
well, do you have the PDF then with that? Does it come with a PDF?
I did not get the PDF with that.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I did not get a PDF. I just got the books.
Interesting. So I got the $100 version, and I get Dark Tower 5e. I got early backer print by Janelle Jaquays PDF. Yeah, I got. That's all I have. I mean, that's all I got. The basic set. It came with some little newspaper they were sticking there as an advertisement.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that was it though. That's interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know if mine's different because, like Mike's saying, it's $109.
Look, there's his credit card number. There's your credit card number on there, dude.
PayPal maybe, but no.
Right.
No, there's nothing good. And plus, if you try to get anything off of mine, good luck.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I say steal my identity. You could only make my credit rating go up,
Yeah. No, for those kind of things, I'm a PayPal guy. I only like doing PayPal.
I do the same
stuff. But it seems like less and less are accepting PayPal.
Really?
It's weird. Yeah, like remember Abe Books?
Yeah.
They used to take PayPal all the time. Now they don't take PayPal at all, or at least it's very difficult to find them because there's so many different sellers off of Abe Books. But before I would click on any of them and I could just we could just buy some books off there with PayPal, no problem. Nope, not anymore. Now they want like Vimo or Venmo.
Venmo's faster and it's a direct thing. I think that's why.
I don't know how it's faster. Mine goes right through, and I always get mine right away. How's it any faster? How do you get it faster?
Well, I know PayPal hits my credit, my checking account, whatever it comes out of it. It hits it like 2 days later, whereas Venmo hits it overnight. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe it's the same on the flip side.
I always just deal with my PayPal. So I mean, I guess if I want the money, I can download it to my. But I'm kind of business verified through it too. So I don't know if that probably has something to do with it.
Okay. Ah, strange. I
So
don't
so
know.
you got the how do you like it? I mean,
I do like it. I do like it. I did it like an unboxing and a review of the thing, but it's nice. It's quality. There's the 5e version, there's the OG version, and then
right.
there's of course the book of all the interesting people talking about it and this and that. You know what I mean? So, Mazalewski, whatever is in there too, and all the standard people and a few people I don't know who the hell they were, but it's
For
nice.
the
I mean,
I mean, how did they make it 3 volumes though?
Well,
Because
here's
I mean,
yeah. I
really,
might as well. You know what? I'll go grab. I was going to show another book. But I might as well grab it. Hold on a second. Let me grab the shelf.
okay. An unseen reach around is happening right now. Of course, you better watch doing this reach around, Joe. You might pull a muscle. You don't have your headphones on. You can't hear me.
And it's in a slip cover too. That's the problem. I carried it into my room, my geek room here. You know where?
Right.
And I was looking to say, where the hell? Because I'm tight in here, man. Where am I going to put this goddamn thing? Right. So I started. I'm looking around and I'm holding it, and I realized I'm holding it by the slip cover, but I was holding it by the wrong side, and all 3 books slid out and landed on my fucking foot. I was like, you son of a bitch. It's so pissed. It's like jumping up and down. And then, of course, I'm looking for dents because I'm thinking Tim's going to mock me if I dented the goddamn thing with my own foot,
Oh,
so,
yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Here we go. There we go. So we got the Dark Tower 3-book box set, right? I can't show it all because of the angle here, but
Right.
yeah. So let's see. So we got book.
Sounds like you're straining there, Joe.
It's a beast. It is a beast, man. So we got the first one. Actually, this is book 3. The first one was over here.
The Sons of Set, right? Or
the
something
classic,
like that?
yeah, the classic adventure.
Oh, that'd be the Dark
volume
Tower.
1 of a 3-volume set, right? So this is the thinnest, I think, right?
Yeah.
So it's the actual adventure, with some decent art, I gotta say.
That still must be more than the actual adventure, though. Did they increase the font size? Because the
thick pages, man, really quality thick pages, I think, because it's not that many. It's only 50 something, 60.
Oh, okay. Then
66 pages.
Yeah.
It's just, but it's the original adventure, And
that's cool. So it's got a standalone hardcover version of the old. That's excellent. That's what I was.
That is cool. That is cool. Eric Mona wrote an article, and that's the other thing they're adding. Here's where people wrote, what I mean about all the, and so so that's the first book, the original cover here, and then we got book 2. That's your book 2 is over here. This is the big beast. All right. So book 2, of course, is the 5e conversion of the thing, right? So again, decent art. I don't know if this is OG art or was it done for this, but this is what I don't like. I don't like this kind of DCC gonzo weird art. I don't like that. And they did a lot of that in the book. That was kind of my only real complaint. You know what I mean?
Right.
In terms of the standard mapping, whatever. But they always do that strange kind of art on the sides of things. And there's this weird maps too. That's all right though, So they did a good job, I think. And then, all the appendices in the back, they had to break out and detail out all the monsters. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing. I
was going to say that's always that takes up the most space. It seems like.
But they did a good job. They had pictures for almost everything, which was kind of cool. They dropped some money on that. I thought that was pretty good. So that's the 5e conversion of it all, right? And then we have the third book is volume 3. All right. This is the Chosen Sons of Set, the most powerful, blah, 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 blah. It's basically more adventures in the same theme and vein as this. All right. See, I don't like this art.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
a big.
I mean, it's fine for DCC, but I'm not a DCC.
Yes, exactly.
Person.
Exactly. Yep. So we have just some adventures basically, So it's all right, I guess. It's I'm never gonna run it, right? But son of a bitch, I started buying.
I'll tell you what, Joe. You should try to figure out a way to try and run that adventure one time.
This adventure or something like this?
No, that adventure.
Yeah.
I don't know. In some ways, I think it kind of is right up your alley.
It is in a weird way. I don't know how it would mesh with the world. It might be just a one shot or something like that. They give me
I don't think it would take that much to alter. You can wiggle it. What's that?
It's just a little card. It's just a separate card that Janelle drew for this.
Oh, okay.
And so in the same vein, the same style, right?
Oh, very okay.
There's that little. They always give you a little newspaper, the Goodman Games Gazette,
right?
Whenever you buy their shit, right? Yeah. This is kind of neat. The Dark Tower 5e pre-gen booklet. Thought that was kind of cool. Little
Oh,
5e
okay.
character sheets, right?
Yeah, that's
And
a nice size.
yeah, it's a decent booklet, it's a decent size. And then they get a good map in here. Now, their style of mapping and shit for interior dungeons, I don't like. But their style of mapping for exterior world stuff, I love this.
You like that? Yeah.
I do like this. I really enjoy this. It looks like somebody just kind of sketched it. You know what I'm saying? It's not a professionally done map. It looks like some mapper, in the world kind of drew this artistically. So it has a feel of reality, a good vibe to it, So I kind of like this map.
Very cool.
Yeah, so that wasn't what I was intending to talk about. I might as well. Well, I got the camera going. Where's the
I was going to say, get it going there, bud.
Yeah. Here it is. Boom. The secret history of the world. I subscribe to this YouTube channel called What If Alt Hist. It's just weird, dude. Weirdly smart and like autistically focused almost. I don't know if he's autistic, but I don't want to slam him for that. But you know what I mean? He has this narrow, single-minded focus on certain things, and he always has had. And he's like in his young 20s, and he's the most well-read kid, even an adult. He reads everything: psychology, psychiatry, social sciences, history, anthropology, archaeology, economics, down to ancient mysteries of the world, and he tries to tie all kinds of shit together. And his channel started out as like an alternative history channel,
Okay.
And what if this happens? What if the Nazis lost it wherever? Yeah, shit like that he would talk about, right?
Yeah.
And then he just over COVID, he picked up steam and started doing like a bunch of theory shit about other things, about how the world works.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Like, this is interesting. This young kid is into. He's like, I wish I could be that smart. You know what I mean? And that well read. And then I was like, and the funny thing is, he's going through his stories. I'm like, I got that book. I just haven't fucking read it. What am I doing?
So this is a book he talked about.
He talked about this book, The Secret History of the World, and it's kind of cool because it ties in together so many different things. So I'll give you the back cover. Graham Hancock endorsed, so that's always
Hancock. Well,
that's always a good thing, right?
Yeah.
So I'll read you this because you can't read it. He ties in together alchemists and Freemasons, the Illuminati, the Garden of Eden, the Knights Templar, the Looking Glass universe, the gods who love women, the Green King, the prophets, the Sphinx and the time clock, the Neolithic Alexander, Zarathustra, the rise of the Magi, Lucifer, Gnosticism and shamans, the return of the sun god, Muhammad and Gabriel, Francis Bacon and the Green One, the Rosicrucian Age of Seven Seals in the New Jerusalem. From mystic revelations to esoteric codes, here for the first time is history of the world based upon the beliefs of the secret societies, a radical reinterpretation of human existence and a view of the world previously hidden from us. That's every goddamn tickle you could possibly give me right there. I mean, it's all right there. It just hits every single fucking spot. I mean, endorsed by this guy Colin Wilson, Tim. I mean,
yes.
Remember him?
I remember the name, but if I saw who he was, I'm sure I would know who exactly you're talking about. On that.
He wrote a lot of books on the esoteric and all that stuff, as well as some. He wrote The Outsiders, I believe. So the book, not the
book, not the movie, right?
So that's what I got. That's cool. And I'm gonna be diving into this tomorrow.
No, that's pretty cool. Huh?
Yeah.
So have you had a chance to look through it? Anything in particular that kind of?
No, I mean,
a lot of that stuff is like old hash that's gonna be retread.
Yeah.
Let's face it. I mean, there's only so many times you can talk about the fucking Knights Templar and the Freemasons and shit, and been there, done that. It was cool at one time, but is there anything in there that you're gonna find out that's like, you know what, I didn't know that?
That's the thing. I don't know until I read it, right?
Okay.
And I do like to tie in things like that, in my own head. And I wonder
absolutely.
how he tied things in versus how I tied things in, because we all watched all the listened to Jeff Rentz back in the day, right, and all that kind of stuff, and you didn't. Oh God, no. Man. Oh Jesus Christ, dude, you missed out, man. All those goddamn shows were awesome. Yeah, Jeff Rentz, he had this radio show. He was like coast to coast AM style shit. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I listened to Art Bell
Art Bell. Yeah, it's not that style, right? It was Jeff Rentz, Art Bell.
I guess we didn't have. I don't remember.
I'm sorry. Is it Jeff Rentz? RENSC, not RENTS, right? I'm talking about different Jeff Rentz.
Okay, all right.
I believe that's his name.
Because there was him, and I think Graham Hancock on that show too.
Oh, he probably was. He was on.
And then I'm trying to think the one that was on there for a while. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I used to listen because I used to work second and third shift a lot. So Art Bell was my diet. Of the night and everything. Yeah. Yeah,
What else
it's
is on
funny
the
because
radio
the
that
other
night?
folks didn't like me listening to it because it freaked them out.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh
they didn't
God.
like it because they're like, why do people, want to stand on or be on there and talk about aliens and that? I'm like, well, why wouldn't you?
Why? It's because it's better
That's
than
not the right
stocking the shelves
question.
with more Kool-Aid, man. You know what I
Right.
mean? If you got to sit there doing some
No,
drudgery fucking job at 3 a.m., stocking with Kool-Aid and tampons on the shelf, you want to listen to something about aliens. It takes you out of your miserable existence.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
That was my, and I like to do this shit into the game. I love history
absolutely.
and
Well,
secret
I love
societies.
doing that too. Yeah,
Yeah,
love
that's good
doing
shit.
that.
That's good shit. So, anyway, what's your cool
Yeah.
thing of the week, man? Other than the flu?
I was just check. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, K5K said it's you gotta love books that can injure yourself lifting.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely.
I know. It
Yeah.
did hurt. I
There's
screamed like a bitch.
Terry, we got Flint now.
Hmm.
That's making me. I don't know what's making you mentally dizzy.
Yeah, I miss my Goodberry gummy. I was
It's
actually took a couple of quick puffs. I have not yet hit a gummy though.
you haven't hit a
Elric,
gummy.
badass. Yeah,
It's
bones and I'm.
reptiloids. Yeah, reptiloids. All hail the overlords. No Yellow King Haster. No, I don't think I don't. I never see them in secret society stuff, but somebody should throw that one in.
I am running with
Graham,
Haster right now. I have Haster and the Yellow King right now in my game. Dwayne, who
do
you
you
played
have that
with,
one going?
is a
Yeah,
warlock of that god.
I've never
And
played with Dwayne.
Dwayne, I thought you were in the same game for a bit. Weren't you? Oh no, you weren't. The other guys were. Yeah.
No, no,
Yeah, that's right. They
yeah,
evacuated to you. Yeah. So yeah. So what's your
that's
cool
why
thing,
I
dude?
listen to you guys. Oh, okay. So this was I almost forgot, last week or something like that, but I'm always looking for different mapping things.
Hmm.
I love drawing my own maps, and I have I love hate relationship with my maps. Sometimes I love them, and sometimes I hate them. So,
Hmm.
but I'm always looking for different styles. And I found this guy. His name is Flick
Flick.
Silverpen.
All
Flick
right. Here,
Flick
let me.
Silverpen's Guide to Drawing City. So he has this very kind of cartoon style
Okay.
of. So he has a series of zines. And so, it just teaches you how to, kind of build
Yeah.
like very basic shapes.
Hmm.
Even Joe, you could make a good looking
Is he?
map
Oh, it's an
using.
instructional book. It's not a book that you use to just.
No, this is an
Oh, okay.
instructional book. And then so I've got the city one. I bought the trio. He's got other ones, but I only bought
It
the
kind of
trio.
fits
So
your
then,
style, though, Tim. I mean, that really does. If it's the same, you do that kind
yeah,
of
it's
style.
not too bad. And then it's got, like drawing dungeons, different ways to,
Yeah.
do that. And it opens up some more options. And the last one I got was this. I guess this is Overland, mate. So I got the
Okay.
dungeon, got the city, and then like the Overland
Okay.
map making. So it goes from some
That's cool.
very basic, like if I wanted to make different kinds of forests there. So it just shows you step by step
Yeah.
forests or little mountains up there,
Okay.
and
See, what's his
uh,
channel? People are saying he has a YouTube channel. What's his channel, guys? Do you know?
yeah. It isn't it Flix? I don't know. I got his stuff right here.
Yeah, probably got the site on the back of the book, probably.
Weirdly enough, it doesn't.
Seriously?
So no, it doesn't. I think it's on the inside. It's JP Covert.
JP Covert. I thought he was like a different.
JP, and then it's Coovert. Yeah, so JP Covert.
Maybe I do follow him.
And he gave me a little. He does these like I do, like the little one page,
Yeah.
postcard zine kind of thing.
Jeez, the name is familiar too.
They're kind of quick videos, and I was watching one day. I'm gonna get that. So I kind of got that in my stash of,
87,000 subs. I am
Is
subscribed
that
to
how
this
many?
guy.
I didn't pay any attention to him.
Yeah. I guess when you got that many subs, you don't fucking need to advertise your shit, huh?
Well, he's probably doing pretty well. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
12 a piece, and then they were. I
see
forgot
it.
how much shipping.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, everybody else seems to know him here. So
Yeah.
I just found him. I don't know. I was kind of going down a
YouTube rabbit hole.
YouTube rabbit hole. Yeah,
Always been there.
and has popped up. Luckily, my YouTube rabbit holes don't end up with like that weird shit that you and Matt always freaking find. Or
Yeah.
You guys find some, and then you post it, and I'm like, what do you guys? You guys don't have to freaking work apparently.
Oh, we got time. We got downtime, you know. Plus, he's a second shift guy. And speaking of Matt, I got to say, somebody was saying that I would be Kirk and Tim would be Bones if we were in the Star Trek universe. No. Matt would be McCoy because he's a grouchy old fuck, just like McCoy. But he'll always do the right thing, right?
Yes,
so that's Matt. He will always do the right thing and help you out, but he bitch about it the whole fucking time, just like McCoy would. You know?
Yeah.
Rob would definitely be Spock, quoting stats and figures and all that shit all the time, right?
A sleepy version of Spock.
A sleepy version, a lazier version. Spock who would sit at his workstation rather than stand up and man it. Yeah, definitely. I don't know that I could be any of those characters because I wouldn't believe that we actually went to space. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So,
you would be doubting it the whole time.
I couldn't be in the Star Trek universe because I wouldn't believe it existed, because like the moon thing, you know. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty cool though, Tim. I like that, man. And like if you could teach me the basics like that, my hand is not steady. I can't draw straight lines with a ruler, literally. So I don't know how good I'd be, but simple is.
I don't draw straight lines either. I just draw like I was just fiddling around with this. I love like those map stamps I have. So
yeah, those are nice.
One little making a little village on this side, and then where they have to go, kind of thing. And
yep, they're definitely nice.
I bought something else. Oh yeah. One more thing here. I forgot about this.
Like Steve Jobs. One more thing.
Actually, this isn't bad. I wouldn't say it's great, but it's not too bad. It's by your buddy Loki, the guy who does Loki. Yeah, and he has this thing called Designing Hex Towns.
Oh yeah.
So it's something I think I don't know if he just released it. I just found it. I don't know. But I have to kind of use it yet. I kind of read through it once, printed it out, read through it, but I haven't put it into use yet. That was originally why I got the hex. All my stamps out, and then I got distracted.
Yeah.
And started making something else. But apparently it's his way or a way to create a town by hex.
Huh. All right.
Thing. I mean, so
neighborhood by neighborhood? Is each hex a neighborhood or something? Or
let me see here. Creating a hex settlement. Choose how many hexes you want to use and give each of them a number. From there, roll a d12 to determine what each hex is. So basically, yeah, it's a district or a landmark or something along those lines. Because on this table, he's got districts, types of districts, like poor, deprived, secret society. There you go, Joe.
There you go.
Of course, it's hard to have a secret society district.
Yeah, it's kind of rough. Yeah. Well, Yale University does that. They have a lot of their buildings for all their secret societies are in the same place, Skull and Bones and all that stuff.
Right, Skull and Bones.
So maybe you could.
I guess you could. Yeah, why not? So, but yeah, so I'm gonna mess around with that. It's not too bad, guys. If you go on RPG drive-through, I think it was like $2.
Oh wow, that's not bad at all.
Something. I mean, it's only 8 pages, so it's not real substantial and everything like that. But and I think if you look at the preview, you almost get to see the whole thing.
Wow. Okay. All right.
So
that's kind of good though. It's like, here, buy it. Take a look at it. You're not getting ripped off quality, especially for early products. If you're just starting to put out stuff, people don't know if they can trust you. So you put something out like that, they could read it ahead of time in a sense. It's almost like pay as you go. Pay what you want, rather.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, so it's Loki's lair, but I don't know what he's Loki, something like that. Secretive versus secret society.
Okay. He's a decent enough guy. I like his channel. I like listening to him.
I was watching his. Sometimes I'll watch a little bit of his. It's very hard for me to watch live plays.
Yeah.
Just not my general thing. But every once in a while, if I'm making a map, I don't want to be going through a whole bunch of different videos on YouTube. And he does a a campaign for Shadow Dark.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll watch him go through Shadow Dark, and his players seem pretty decent, pretty cool
Yeah.
folks, and they don't annoy me. Like they're not at all in costume,
Yeah,
and
they're not purple haired kind of
they're
types,
not
basically. Yeah,
jazz hands all the time.
yeah,
They're not trying to. They're actually playing a game. They're not acting.
yes, yes,
You
yeah,
know,
yep. I
they're
get it.
not
I
doing
get
a
it. Yeah,
little play. So
he's interesting. Loki. He seems to be from what I've seen of his videos and little bits and pieces. I could be wrong, but it seems like he's relatively new to D&D. You know what I mean? Newish. Started with 5e, kind of dipping his toe into old school stuff, and so Shadow Dark is his complete sweet spot. That's what Shadow Dark was designed for, folks like him.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Who were just sort of transitioning over and need a stepping stool before they can't jump right to OSE, right? There's not enough 5e-isms in OSE, but Shadow Dark did a little.
Yeah, because OSC is just like very. It's even a dry version of Basic, and Basic is very bare bones, and but Basic, you know, the original Basic has a lot more flavor to it.
Mm-hmm.
Where you know OSC is like the nuts and bolts, and here you go, you know, kind of thing. Which you know did a fantastic job with, but if you want to kind of find out a little bit more of the nuances, it's better to go back to the originals.
Yeah, you'll get a lot of flavor. It's like reading the Gary's DMG and PHB for AD&D. You know, you're going to get all the flavor as opposed to reading Osric. Osric is just, here's how to play it. Whereas if you ever want to play any kind of old school game, you guys, I know it's hard, but you just kind of do what we all did back in the day and use Gary's DMG as your Bible, but you don't read it in order. Gary's DMG is meant to be read on the shitter. All right. You sit down. So, Tim, you must have got a lot of Gary's DMG time lately with the flu, right? So you sit down, you take a look at this thing, you get bits and pieces, and then 40 years later, you could do the same thing again. And you're like, how did I miss that? I never read that. Wait, you could do this back then? Holy shit, how did I not know this? It constantly gives you stuff that you never heard of.
Constantly surprises you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's because it was so disorganized, you couldn't possibly find it. The only things I had marked off where I could find in that book were the combat tables and then the treasure tables, because when I was writing adventures, I needed to know where the treasure. Those two were like I could open up the book to those two opening pages.
Yeah.
And then in the back, they have those appendices for developing like dungeon descriptions and different things like that. Well, but everything else.
No, yeah. It's just a stream of consciousness craziness. Yeah. I mean, exactly. I use it a lot for because I played AD&D before I got the monster manual, so I use the back book as the monster manual. The back of the book, you know that they had those tables. It was just like 20 pages, all the various stats. It was like
it was going the other way. It was going.
Yes, of course it was. So why would it be normal and straight?
Right,
you know?
Exactly.
You know? Yeah, it was the only. You had to turn the book sideways to fucking read it. You know, it's like son of a bitch. You know. So yeah, I use that as the monsters because I couldn't figure out. You know, I didn't have the book yet until I bought the book. You know, I got it probably for Christmas, my birthday, or something later. You know, so yeah, that was it. So other than that, it was good. You should all read that though. You should definitely all read that. You know, it was
Mike, Joe and I we have Discord channels and stuff like that, but we're not really Discord people.
No, agreed.
I don't know. They're a different version of forums. The way my mind wraps around it, and I get lost on the discussions, and then I don't know. I try to do it, but it seems like it's too much of a time commitment.
I agree. And there's too many channels within this. It's like if I could just subscribe to a Discord channel, but it'd be one thing. But within the channel, there are 1,000 sub channels and subtopics. Right. Who knows what's going on where? And yeah, exactly, Flint. Too much, too fast. And if you subscribe to multiple ones, you'll never keep up. You know, and so it's just not. It's like I just like the same reason I don't go to EN. Well, they banned me from EN or cunt.
Well, I was going to say you got kicked out of
it. Yeah. Shit. I probably
but one thing's got nothing to do with the other.
Yeah. I probably got demonetized for saying that word. Hopefully I mumbled it well enough. But those assholes. But yeah, so I don't do that. But even RPG site, you know, and all the other ones, they're kind of they've had their time, right? You know what I mean? Just it's like they've had their time and then it's over now. And people still look at them and that's cool. You know, I'll go back every once in a while and say, what are they talking about these days over at the RPG site? But I don't participate. You know,
I get that their what do you call it? Their
summary,
newsletter,
the news summary. Yeah, me too.
I'll go through that a little bit. I mean, it seems like they've calm the fuck down.
I think so. Yeah, they got
know,
less crazy. With
yeah.
their
I mean, because there for a while they felt like they needed to preach to me,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I adamantly informed them they did not need to do that.
I,
And
I think it's.
and
I wonder
so
if it's a case of these people who would normally be on there don't do those channels either. So you're left with a bunch of older people who don't want to tolerate that nonsense.
I don't
You know,
know, maybe
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't know.
But yeah, Discord. Yeah, basically we use our Discord to go do game
Yeah,
nights. So
links
we have
and
a
things
place
like
to
that.
go to meet together, do get some game nights, and then once in a while, if
Mm-hmm.
somebody wants to share something that's they like, Rob's always sharing something on there,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. Yep.
and he'll say, "Oh, it's on." And of course, even if there's because you have your chat room, and then you
Yeah.
have your video rooms, and then you
Yeah.
and then you have your text ones, and then it's like, well, which one did you put it in? Oh, I put it in
Yeah.
the Tuesday night chat. Okay, well, I don't see it. Well, you're still in the voice chat. You need to go in the text chat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's like I'm an old geezer that way, where I just sort of like, that's more
Yeah.
thinking than I want to do before a game.
And Flint is right. I use it for chatting my players. If I didn't, here's the thing: we play on Roll20. We had for years, right? I remember when Roll20 came out, their video interface was poor and it was sketchy. And so we always had Roll20 going on one monitor and Discord on the other monitor, so that I could see the players. And the other thing too is, like, if you're looking at video on Roll20, the video it takes up too much of the screen. So I want my screen on Roll20 to just be what I'm looking at as the DM, and then players, and for them too. Everybody, I think, minimizes their little name thing to the bottom in tiny little slivers, so you can't see anything, right?
Right. Absolutely.
And so I want Discord to see the video chat, because I like to have a video chat if I can. Though some people are adamant against it. Greg never goes on video, but I like the video because I like to see players' reactions, because I like to, if I can, emulate being around the table with somebody. I want to see what their faces are. When I say something, I want the reaction. I want to see if they're buying it. I want to see if they're paying attention. Eric, so you know what I mean?
Flick Eric in the forehead. Flick Eric, he's like 2 screens behind us again.
Oh yeah. He's never catch up. His tokens far beyond. And I was paying attention. In the meantime, 3 videos miraculously got posted while we were playing the goddamn game. I was paying attention, like, motherfucker.
You just posted like 3 things, Eric.
Yeah. You involved in a whole.
You were not wrong. That's funny.
It's like, I was paying. Okay. Someday I should
Eric,
you failed. You did.
We weaves us into our topic of the night. You're at the gaming table, and here we. So let me just set the table a little bit.
All right.
I'm just going to set the table, but I'm not going to serve the
all right. Well, I served the poison dinner to Rob. So why don't you set the table? Because Rob, you were there. You were the independent third party witness to how this all went down. All right. So let's hear it.
Joe introduces it wasn't a nymph. It was a silk?
It was the water silky
Nereid.
Selkie, I think it was.
The Selkie? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Selkie. Couldn't remember. So he introduces a Selkie, and I'm thinking, oh boy, Rob just popped a chubby, because now we're dealing with Fae.
Fae. Because Rob is all about the Fae.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't a Selkie, was it? That was a seal thing. Nereid. I think you're right. It's a Nereid. Yeah.
Something like that.
It was the hot water nympho. That's what it was. All right.
Right. It's from the Monster Manual. You know, the old Nereid. Although it was a weird looking Nereid on the Monster Manual.
Yeah.
Nobody stopped on that page. So he's having this conversation with it, and I'm like, oh no, this is not going to go well, because now we have 2 worlds kind of colliding. We have Joe's world, where a Nereid is a Nereid, his opponent. Now Rob's world, it is more than that, and it's got this whole culture and this whole thing going behind it. And Rob is
assumptions, lots of
and Rob is kind of assuming that now he's going to deny this, but I saw it.
Yep, you were there. That's why I want to witness.
I believe I even commented on this. Because Rob was like, well, what was it? Something about hospitality. Do you grant me hospitality?
Yes, that's what started it.
It was
He
the
says,
whole thing about, do you grant me
hospitality.
hospitality? And I'm watching and I'm watching Joe and I'm thinking, Rob, this isn't your world, man. This it's not gonna work in the same in your world.
Mhm.
And he just went forward with it
I even
anyways.
said something too.
I
As
know
out
you
of
did.
character DM, I said, I laughed. I said, check out Rob, thinking that his assumptions about the Fae fit in my world. And that
Right.
was the
But
only thing I was going to give him. I thought that was a little bit too much of a warning. You know what I mean? I'm
you
like, I'm
gave
not
him a
you
clear
know,
warning shot. Yeah.
clear warnings. You did it. I
But
did it. He.
but he did what Rob does once in a while and everything, and went forward and go ahead and retell the rest of it.
He basically wanted to know. I think she said, "Give me a kiss." That's what it was. Give me a kiss. And he
Give me
says,
a
"You,
kiss.
do I have your house?"
Automatically, I'm out. If
Yeah. Oh
Joe's
yeah.
telling me anybody give me a kiss, I'm like, no,
Yeah. I know. Tim wouldn't do it.
no,
Tim is the land
no.
of. This is a pretty flower. Do you want to smell it? Fuck no, I'm not gonna smell the flower. So I know Tim is like, you want to give me a kiss? No, I'm not gonna give you a kiss because Joe's looking for revenge for the flower that killed his red shirt back 3 years ago. So Tim's not gonna kiss the bitch. So
No.
I know, but I'm like Rob. It was all about making these assumptions about okay, hospitality and in character. I even had, I gave him the warning out of character. Hey, look at Rob, assuming that my rules about fair are the same as his. And then in character, she says, she gave him an odd look. I'm like, yeah, okay, hospitality, yeah, sure, yeah, hospitality.
Right. If
It
that'll
was
get
like
you,
that level of
do it.
confusion. And okay, whatever, man, just give me a kiss. So he
Right.
gave her a kiss. And there was a saving throw versus death or die from
Yeah.
drowning.
I mean,
So
yeah, he just died. Yeah,
he died.
it
He
was.
kissed her.
I didn't realize it was going to be that severe, but I was like,
He
damn.
failed to save. But the funny thing was that at first he rolled a save for. We was like he failed to save, and then he was dead, and we're all mocking him because that's what we do. And then we realized, I think I noticed, Rob, you rolled a save for your NPC using the NPC character sheet, so you got to roll your own save. So there's all right. So now I'm like, all right, he has a second chance. So Rob really had an advantage on his saving throw against
he
this
did
thing
have
by
advantage.
default,
Yeah.
right? So he gets to roll again for his own character, and he fails just as miserably. So he's dead twice, really, for the same kiss.
It still sucks. Yeah,
still sucks. So he's dead. And he's like, then he started to go back. He sent me thinking about Greek mythology and this and that, and I'm like, who gives a fuck? That's the Greeks. This is my world. Just because it's the same name doesn't mean they're not the same goddamn thing, which is what I was trying to warn you about.
I know.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there like, son of a bitch, he's dead. And the thing that fucked it up was that, well, it fucked me up because Rob's character, like I was saying, alluding to before, at various times, each character has a different spotlight in a campaign and what they're doing. The other group, the members of the group tag along. And then when it's the next member's turn to be in a spotlight, it's assumed that the guys would tag along and help them with their thing. Right. And so Rob's thing happened to be the focus of the last few levels, the first few levels of this thing. What do you guys like, 4th level now? Right. And so, it happened to be the focus, and you're trudging through the marsh and you're looking for things, and you came across a witch and you're doing all this stuff and blah, 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 or all working towards a goal. And it's been somewhat fun and interesting, I think. You guys seem to have a good time, and it's like, but now there's no more reason for you to be there, right? Technically. No. Right. Well, you may finish out the thing you're doing right immediately with this woman, with this witch.
But that's going to be its own interesting thing there.
Agreed. I don't know how that's going to go either.
Because now that I know what it can possibly do or what it does, I may talk to the guys and reconsider our,
Yeah, you may not want to give it to her, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, things got some juice, dude. There's a lot of play options with this thing that you could do in the campaign. What you're going, it's the golden acorn, blah blah blah. It gets charged up by the power of life of the Earth Mother goddess, and it's supercharging under a dead Stonehenge type place that sits on a ley line for like 4,000 years untapped, and so she wants it for some reason, and they're like, if she wants it, maybe we want it. All right. And so I can see Tim's, the wheels are spinning there. That's a powerful artifact, in a way. You don't know how to use it, but it has some juice into it. It's like a super battery, super capacitor, full charge, right?
Right.
And so so now you don't want to give it to her. What's going to happen, right?
And then all the time like, we're doing this, so I'm trying to, because my thing is like, okay, because I don't think of it as just the Nereid that we encountered. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, we've got this door. Obviously, that is our goal, to go through this door. Because I mean, while you make puzzles and stuff like that, make them simple enough that they're not going to be like overly complicated.
No, yeah.
Yeah, nobody needs to think that hard.
It's pretty straightforward. You know, you have a few elemental encounters with all the 4 elementals. You assume that already.
But
and each one is going to give you a chance, you know? Yes, you didn't know that going in.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, okay, so we got the one. So, and I'm thinking in my head while this is going on, and by the time I kind of got figured out what the whole concept was, which I don't know why it took me so long, but it did. Rob was dead.
He was dead. Yeah, he was. Yeah, twice exactly.
Twice dead.
Twice dead. He had advantage on his save. I didn't even realize that.
Twice baked potato.
Yeah.
You know? So. But okay, so
then he was trying to look up the definition.
Now, what are you going to have to do?
Well,
what are you, now that one of the main characters have died in your campaign?
Yeah.
What are you going to do now?
Well, the first thing I had to do, let me just one last shot at Rob, is that he tried to look up the definition of drowning in the 2E DMG and PHP.
Oh my God, what was that about?
Well, I don't know. He was such a petulant.
They were looking up.
I'm not drowned. What does it mean if you drown? I'm like, it means you drown, motherfuckers. It means you're dead. It means you kiss you, fill your lungs with water.
Please, we got 10 people listening or something like that. They were actually looking up the definition of drowning, whether that meant they were dead or not.
Or not, yeah. And I mean, it was here. See, it takes you an entire minute to drown, according to and there's some con modifier. I'm like, but who gives a shit? That has nothing to do with drowning, getting your your head stuffed in the water. What's that got to do with anything? You know?
Rob's like, well, that's why they can do those maneuvers on your body and blah blah blah. I'm like, that's because you're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have to do that. They don't do that if you're like awake and aware or anything, my man.
Yeah.
So it was just, I was just like, this is getting ridiculous. You guys are looking at the definition of drowned. I'm just like, it was interesting. Yeah.
And after that too, he sent me a thing in private. It says, this doesn't say Vargile, but you do realize the mythology between Nereids. And then he sent me a clip from like Wikipedia. He says they are divine beings, and she just violated one of the most sacred rules established by the gods. Just saying. In what world?
Are you kidding?
No.
He's still trying to make his point.
That was that night of the game. Yeah, on the 5th.
Yeah, he's just got it stuck in his head that's the way they are supposed to be. That's the way it is
because a book on Greek mythology said that.
Right.
You know? And so I'm like, what gives a shit, dude? You know what I mean? It's just in that world, in the Greek mythology, but guess what? We're not in ancient Greece. We're in my goddamn world where shit's bad. You know? You're lucky it wasn't Tim's world where she would have kissed you and would have destroyed your entire family line with one kiss. So,
he would have been dead and he wouldn't even have known it.
Yeah.
Been walking around for like a day and then figured out he was finally dead. Yeah.
I was just like, the fuck? What the fuck? So anyway, yeah. So what I got to do now, like the first thing I said to you guys. So I'm like, I see my entire next few months of where I thought you guys were going to be and everything that the wheels with the wheels I had going on and the interplay of all the NPCs and the factions and the groups that I developed in this whole area. I spent a lot of time in it. I'm like, well, fuck, they're leaving. Right. So my short-term thing was, what are you going to do next week? Then the next time we play in 2 weeks, right? Are you going to finish this area and try to go for the golden acorn of greatness or whatever, or are you just going to say, fuck it? The only reason we're here is this guy and he's dead. I don't give a shit. The hell with this witch's quest. I'm leaving this godforsaken swamp because nothing good has happened here. I needed to know that, right? So that gets me. And you guys said, no, we're going to try to finish this room, get the acorn for reasons, and we'll decide what we're going to do with the acorn after we get the acorn.
Right.
Like, all right, I at least know my focus of the next 1 to 2 sessions. Right. And I won't know what you're going to do until you get the acorn, until you actually tell me what you're going to do with the acorn. I don't think you guys know. Right. So,
I mean, I kind of have an idea what I want to do, but, I got to make sure, I'm not going to, I got to do with everybody else, make sure they're cool with it.
Yep.
But even I guess I actually don't even know, except other than getting it the hell out of Dodge.
I think that makes the most sense. Why would you stay in the godforsaken swamp if you didn't need to? Right. And so and that means in a weird way, it takes away from a huge chunk of prep I was going to do because I was going to run another I was looking forward to this too. I was going to be running a Judges Guild module for you guys that I've always wanted to run. And
which one?
You probably won't do it. So it's probably, could I say it's probably,
Nah, you better not say. You
Yeah,
better
yeah.
not. No, don't say. I'm dying of curiosity.
Yeah, it was something I've wanted to run for
don't
a while.
say.
It's not Dark Tower, I'll give you that. But it was something I
No.
wanted to run for a while. And I was like, oh shit, here's the opportunity. I could finally slot this in. The same way I finally in my brother's game the other day, they finally wrapped up Death Frost Doom. I've been wanting to run that and slot that into one of my
Oh, how
campaigns
did
for
that
a long
go?
time too.
You
Oh, they
remember
triggered
you
the zombie apocalypse and they're all fleeing for their lives. Yeah. so
No, exactly. Like
standard.
everybody else. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
standard
yeah.
ending.
So they have the NPC ranger who was with them is going to run back to Parnast and let them know shit.
I was gonna say now we have to deal with that shit.
Well, yeah, that's why I don't mind breaking my own worlds. I don't like Raji's games that fuck the players, but I don't mind the ones that fuck the world because that's up to the DM, right? If you want to fuck your world in some way, I'm okay with that as long as it's my world that I can fuck with and under my terms, right? So yeah, 10,000 zombies and undead are on their way somewhere down south, and I looped it into something, Tim, where it's not just they're going to rampage across the world. There's something else going on. So that was kind of cool. My brother and his group are going to run to the high forest to do a thing to get another druid. They're going to get a druid because the druid died in the attack by the gnolls on the town. So they need to get another druid. That's why they're originally going to the high forest. They'll be coming back with one, hopefully. And they're bringing Tim. They're bringing the mongrel men that you guys encountered. Remember, they are about a month and a half ahead of you in the timeline. They're bringing one of the mongrel men that you encountered in your swamp to the high forest to let them know the new mage lord, the returns of the old mage lord. Anyway, deep lore here. It doesn't matter for all you guys. You don't care. But I'm tying all these things in together so there's an interconnected, if not directly connected, tapestry of a campaign. Two groups in the same setting, interacting with each other, affecting each other, but not directly. It's almost like parallel universes that bleed over. So, but my thing now that I got to figure out, once you guys get this thing, I'm set for another couple sessions. Now what? Where are you guys going to go? I'm assuming you're leaving, and I would imagine if you do decide to keep the acorn, you're going to try to do something with said acorn. I don't know what, or maybe just stash it in the bag and try to figure it out. But now the world is your oyster.
Put a big giant work. We'll just keep in our backpack and use it as a pillow for a night.
Yeah, for a while till you figure out what the hell it is or whatever. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to develop some more plot hooks to give you guys meaningful choices, right? It's hard to drop a plot hook in the fucking swamp. You know what I'm saying? There's that's my challenge in my head. I know there's some shit going on in the world and the region, and you dove into the swamp while a lot of stuff was ongoing, and so that stuff was still ongoing, and it's still going on out there that you just don't know about it. So you need to be reintroduced to it. And I got some ideas about how to throw you some more plot hooks. You just need to see what you want to do, right? Because it's a sandbox. I don't want to make you do anything. I want to see what you guys want to do. I'll throw you 3 or 4 things, and you just see what happens, But it's a thing where as a DM now you got to figure out how does this affect the campaign. The other thing too is Rob's going to be rolling up a new guy, right? And it'll be a level below the other guys, right? And hopefully it'll be a guy who fits with the group's mentality. And he rolled some really good scores, right? But the first thing you said, Tim, was don't make a paladin. Rob's like, I never make a paladin. You're like, every character you ever have is a paladin, regardless of.
And everybody agreed with me.
Yeah, he always plays a paladin's mentality.
Yeah.
It's always a lawful good guy.
He didn't. Argyle wasn't this time. I have to admit that. But
no, he was better.
He tends to play a bit of an adversarial,
principled, indignantly principled person.
Sometimes it depends on if he's playing, because he's got different character types he likes to play.
Yes, he has archetypes. He's very good at it too. I mean, I'll give him that. He's good at it.
Yeah, and then he likes to play this one kind of type. It's called Boog, and it's just like a big, huge, strong, just kill everything with its halberd, kind of guy. I'm thinking that's maybe what he'll go with. Thaddeus, he says he keeps a spreadsheet of quests and dates so that multiple groups can interact with each other in a logical way, then a list of consequences for each quest as well as with their summaries. That's pretty cool, Thaddeus.
Yeah.
I've never been that organized.
No, I don't. I'm not that. I don't prepare that much into the future to have a list of quests, because the quests for me have to derive from what's going on. You know what I mean? So I can't predict where they're going to be in 3 months. So I mean, I could do standard non-connected.
He's probably talking maybe some maybe like like if you go into
Yeah.
this town, you can help this person. Maybe maybe not like, because you do a grand overarching arching kind of theme story kind
Yeah,
of
there's a whole
going on
narrative
to it.
going on for the world. Like
Yeah.
there's a regional history that will happen regardless if you guys are there or not. And so all of my
Mhm.
quests, as you call it, derive from what's going on in the region and what you did, however it may have affected what's going on in the region, right?
Yeah.
So you guys are like the cue ball on the pool table. If the region is the pool table with 15 balls on it, and
Right.
those balls are going to roll in a certain direction, whether that white ball is there or not, then you guys, the white ball, the cue ball, come in and bang a couple balls, you're going to change the complexion of the table, right?
Right.
And so that means I can't really figure out what the quests are going to be six months from now. Standalone side quest, yeah, you do that all day, right? Save the princess shit. But but I like to do things that kind of relate to what you're doing, so that it feels more meaningful, and also so that it feels like your actions had a
Well,
meaning in the world.
I'm gonna call you out on that one. More meaningful, because like how many times like during our sessions and stuff like that,
Mhm.
you just did like little side quests,
I
but
did.
but they built into significance.
Yes, they
I
did.
mean, these little, they may be just simple things. Help the old lady with the
Yep.
giant rats in her
Yep. Yep.
basement. Might not mean much. It gets you a little experience, but now all of a sudden, maybe this lady is becoming like an ally.
Yes.
She goes there, and now you have someone
Yeah.
you can, and all of a sudden she hears, she leads into something else,
Hmm.
or maybe, something, of course, like an evil DM,
Hmm.
something unfortunate happens to her, and she needs, help because the landlord of her tenement is now raising everybody's rates, and now all these people are in trouble, but you wouldn't know that unless you did that an original
Exactly. And
quest. And
that's how I start you off at first level, because I look at it as your area, your sphere of influence grows as you grow in power, right? So your
Mhm.
first level, you're starting out your first few things, your sphere of influence is your neighborhood, right?
Yep.
Your town, your small village, you
Mhm.
know what you can do for those people. And then as you get to fourth or fifth level, your sphere of influence is like the region around your town or your neighborhood, right? Seventh or
Right.
eighth level, your sphere of influence is maybe 100, 200 miles, the region of the world. You might encompass a few towns that your actions can, as a white ball, you become a bigger, powerful white ball on the pool table of life, right?
Okay, but saying that though, because you're the cue ball,
Yeah.
if they die, then nothing gets knocked
That's
around.
that's what happened. And Rob was a cue ball, and you guys were his cue ball entourage. And so now you're
Right.
starting out with a different cue ball or no cue ball, right? And so yeah, everything gets
Right.
changed. That's what I got to deal with now, right? My brother had a game that we are playing a
Mhm.
few weeks ago. I think I talked about this in some stream or another, where Kurt died. And Kurt died in a dumb way. And, he could have done things differently, whatever. But
Right.
but it fucks shit up because Kurt's character was the mage of the group, right? And it's like, oh, now we don't have a mage, okay? And in 5e, you kind of need at least the 4 standard, classes in order to make it kind of fun. You can
Sure.
maybe get away with that a little better in other editions, but 5e is sort of designed around. Got to have at least some kind of a caster, right, like that, some arcane caster, and so it changes the complexion of the group. I don't mind. I'll roll with 3 fighters in a 5e game. I don't give a shit,
Yeah.
right? But
Right. Right.
it's harder for a DM to make these standardized encounters if you don't have the right mix of a group. You know what I'm saying in
Mhm.
terms of the classes, and we're running through Temple, which you do need something for TOEE, right? So now you got to wonder, and like now we're sitting with the same question for Kurt's guy, the new guy, and the same
Mhm.
question for Rob is
Yeah.
how is this new character going to, number one, fit with the existing group? How will you introduce them? What I mean, the players are not going to be dicks about it. We're all going to, this is obviously Kurt's new guy. We're not going to be dicks about it and not let him in. Although it can be fun, right? And you guys are going to let Rob's new guy in. I'm sure there'll be some ball busting along the way too, right? But
Right.
that's just the way it goes. But you got to introduce the guy, integrate him into the group, give him some level of backstory, information, clue, hint, legends, rumors, whatever that has him as his third or fourth level guy. He has some
Mhm.
experience, he has some background, he has some knowledge. He's not going to come to the group a blank slate. So while I'm generally against backgrounds and character history, for a third or fourth level guy, you kind of almost have to have some. Even if it's
Yeah.
just rumors and some stories, and all right, you adventured in this region and you did this kind of stuff. You don't have to be
Right.
specific. You don't have to outline every XP and where you got it from, but you need to have some sort of a general backstory. Now, I've taken your advice, and so for before the campaign started, I give everybody a couple sessions just on one, so that they all bring something to the table. I can't do that for a new character who's third or fourth level. I'm not going to ramp them up to fourth level with all the Avengers that it would take to get there. That's insane, right? But I got to give them something. I got to give them a backstory. I got to give them some items, maybe some special items, maybe a minor magic item. I got to have them bring something to the table other than a new character sheet, right? To make it more immersive. So
are you going to run him? Are you running him in some individual?
I honestly don't know, dude. I got to talk to him.
Yeah.
Normally we play every other Tuesday, so tomorrow's the off day. I got to talk to him, see if he wants to get together and figure it out. If you're listening, Rob, let me know what you want to do.
But if he's listening, he's probably pissed off.
Fuming, yeah. He's just talking shit the whole time about you, motherfucker. Yeah. So
get me on there if you're going to talk about me.
Oh yeah, I love that. Because he wants to come on and defend himself.
So Thaddeus, let me see. He's typing a lot. I do a main quest hook with a general idea of how that should go, but the side quests all are built so people have something to do immediately to trigger main quest events. I also usually run a prologue quest or two before introducing the spreadsheet, and based on the initial consequences of those original hooks, that determines what I toss on the sheet. And so it doesn't start as a sandbox. It opens up in one soon after. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of curious that is too. Like, what do you, like? How many do you start with? Like, how many quests do you kind of have? Maybe set aside. Is it just kind of determined on the mood or the situation? The party itself, or like how many do you usually
start with these? I mean, the first thing I did when everybody gets together, it's a sandbox, but the very first thing, it's a railroad. You're going to do this thing because this is the adventure in front of you, and you're going to bond over it and you know what I mean? It was the Lost Crypt under Parnast, right? It was that thing. It was that mission. For the, you weren't in that one, Tim, but it was.
I was going to say, I don't remember that one.
No, that was for all the rest of the guys.
I was just walking down the road and the world blew up.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, but these guys, I gave them something in the town. You all get together, you're at the inn, and while you're in the inn, you're screaming in the streets, and there's a ghoul attacking a villager, and oh my God, they killed the ghoul. Where'd the ghoul come from? Oh my God, what? The earthquake caused an eruption below, and there's a crack in the side of the cliff, and he must have crawled out. What's down there? Let's go see. It's an immediate threat to the city, to them as PCs, and it bonds them together in media res, right? It's an instant action thing. And so
absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I figured. So you're not going to drop 8 plot hooks and have 8 strangers get together in one bar and start talking random plot hooks. You know what I mean? To see which one they want to do. That's not how you started. But that one adventure drove a lot of things. Right, that one little initial starting adventure, things spring off of that and like tendrils, right? And so now they have arching options as to what they want to do. So
he says he usually starts with 10 to 12, but the group I'm running right now has been in the campaign for 5 to 7 years. Okay, so I can get away with dumping a lot of options.
That's good. You got that kind of group.
Yeah, I got that history with it, so you know what you're talking about. And the new group, probably 3 to 5. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like keep it around, 5 or the nice. I mean, the one good thing about my, or not to talk about my stuff, but my little micro adventures and stuff like that. I can put them. I can just grab a handful of them and just pick, and I've done that a little bit more. It's funny how little I used them in the beginning, but I've relied on them a little bit more and more in recent years for some adventures and ideas and situations and kind of things, and it takes I can just go, and then of course I know it. It's like I may have not seen it for 4 years, but it's sort of like, oh yeah, I remember this one, and then I can just plug it right in. So having those little side quests for me are pretty easy to kind of, if I'm like having a dry run, I can grab a few. So if I do, I guess we should steer this back to our topic because we're kind of
death. What would you do with him? So put yourself in my shoes as what happened last Tuesday.
Okay.
What would you do?
Let's say Kojak dies.
Yes.
Okay, so we're heavy invested into Kojak, and just through some, because as Joe knows, I do make all my rolls out front,
Mm-hmm.
and if you hit below zero, you're dead. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm. Yep.
just what it is. I mean, it sucks sometimes, but I like to play it like that, because without that death and without that
Yeah.
risk, it's empty. Victory is an
Yeah.
empty, and I know I don't want to play in a game like that. I don't want to play in a game that death is fudged or kind of massaged away, kind of thing. I don't. If I end up kissing a Nereid, then I need to die.
Yeah.
And
Right.
make it,
I mean,
yeah, I do. I kind of need to,
it's just
or at
PC
least
Darwinism,
say, yeah, exactly, or at least get that slim chance to survive.
Mm-hmm.
He had his chance, because if he'd have made a save, he was okay, but of course he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And welcome to old school gaming.
Yeah. That's what it
Save
is.
or die. That's that's our thing. But if Kojak would die, I mean, I would kind of just go with it. I know
You
I'd have
cry a
to.
little though, wouldn't you? You cry,
No,
shed a
I
tear.
would cry. You would cry.
I would cry.
You
I'd
would.
miss that son of a
I
bitch.
would probably have to have some counseling sessions with you.
It would be brutal.
Talk you through it.
Yeah, it would be brutal.
But the thing is I could have used that death as a catalyst for other things.
Yeah.
I could have used it. Now I've got a plot point, and then you can use, since he's been a significant part of this territory. Now that gives me an opportunity to build on the legend. Now maybe there might be a plaque or a statue.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Then people are coming in there. Now they're gonna, and I know, as a a player, are going to always enjoy coming into that place and seeing a little statue of your guy. And that's going to invest in you more, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think for the immediate party, I think it would definitely ignite hope. Hopefully, unless you're a complete dickhead to him or something like that.
Yeah,
it's 50.
Depending on how he died, right? Saving some people or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And it would definitely give me the fuel to make it. They're not all going to be heroic kind of deaths,
Yeah, sometimes it's just brutal.
Yeah, like one of my favorite all-time deaths, and I absolutely love the way my guy died. And too, I know it's a horrible thing to say, but my guy was a 2-bit con artist, and he would just try to. And Rob was playing a dwarf. And we were just these con guys. We were always getting into shit. We were stealing stuff. We lied about things. We would do stuff. And then we would blame it on other people and whatnot. Well, we got in this one situation. I don't remember the exact details of what I did, but I screwed somebody over, and they had an iron golem. I did not know they had an iron golem, one. And we were playing like a low magic-ish kind of campaign. So I didn't have a magic item. I only had like a, what do you want to call it? A master crafted sword. So it was +1 non-magical.
Yep.
So this iron golem picked me up. So this was GURPS too. So contest of strength. Well, this thing had like a 20 strength, and I had like a 12 or 13, and I had like almost no chance. I mean, I got manhandled so bad, and it picked me up, and I couldn't hurt it because I didn't have the
magic weapons to hit it,
and I wasn't a magic user. And the iron golem picked me up and drowned me in a horse trough and just held me there.
That's awesome.
Now I didn't have to look up what the word drowned meant.
No, you knew.
To me.
You didn't argue.
I knew what that meant. No, I didn't argue.
Okay.
But I just thought it was how fucking fitting for my guy to end this way. In this pathetic, no name, no nothing, in the middle of nowhere. And this guy, why would he care? Why would he save me? He just took his little iron collar and then held me down underneath the water until I stopped thrashing.
That's funny.
Boom, done. And to me, I loved it. I thought it's perfect for this guy. This guy didn't deserve a heroic ending. This guy didn't
Yeah,
deserve any things like it. Would have been fun if he would have got one by accident,
yeah,
but because the way he died, it was I don't know. I just I don't I embrace my guys' deaths too. So you know
it's,
how I am with weird
yeah.
playing stuff. I like you know getting all into that stuff. But yeah, I don't see it as a problem. I mean, I thought it was
Fitting ending for the guy, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
I couldn't have thought of a
yeah.
better ending. I
If
mean, it was a
matches.
complete surprise too.
Hmm.
And then I guess the thing, and here's the other weird part that that you're not going to hear from a lot of players is I absolutely thought it was cool how completely helpless I was.
Yeah,
I couldn't do shit to this thing.
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
mean, I had always
Don't
conned
they burp
myself.
poison gas too? Don't these iron dolls? Don't
This
these,
one, well, he didn't burp anything at me. He just picked me up, slammed me. He kind
they
of
didn't
like
need to. Yeah,
did the Hulk thing on me, like Loki's,
yep,
thrashed me around, and then just picked me up, and then just held me underwater, in the filthy, disgusting horse trough water. And
yep.
um,
Dead. You know, reminds me of
but
I saw his old hypnosis show when I was just after college and got to college kids there and this and that. And he did the whole past life regression to some kid. And he
uh,
says, so your last life, who were you? Where are you? And he says his name in some New Orleans in like the 1800s. He goes, okay, I'm going to take it to where you died and when you died. And he's laying in an alley with a knife in him. I'm like, oh,
mhm,
that's interesting. Who knows about this shit? It wasn't
right,
a setup. The kid was a legit college kid. People knew him, right? So who knows what he's projecting or if it's real? I don't care. But the story was interesting because he's all right. So you're in New Orleans and you're this guy named so and so, and then the last scene of your life, you're in an alley with a dagger in you or a knife in you, and you're dying. He says, let's go back 5 minutes before you died. What were you doing? Okay. So now he's like, well, I'm hiding in the shadows near the alley, waiting to mug somebody. It's like, boom, you saw exactly what happened. He tried to mug somebody and he got fucking killed.
right.
There it is. No,
There it is.
everybody in the past life. I was Napoleon, I was Cleopatra, I was George Washington, I was Van Franklin. This guy was just a fucking mugger. And he
I
went down
know.
hard at
Yeah,
age 20, you know? So
yeah,
it's pretty cool. His subconscious even told him he was like kind of a nothing, you know?
yeah, yeah. But I mean, I really think, I mean, most of us know it out there. You can really make them. I think, like, especially 5e missed the mark on this part. I mean, they definitely. Um, I mean, you definitely wanted a kinder, gentler game in 5e because you wanted people to play for a while and
Yeah.
be able to buy into the game and everything like that. And they
Mm-hmm.
had hardcore mode
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot, but they did not really promote that. They promoted you to have a beginning character
Yeah.
to an end, a start to finish character,
Yeah. It assumed
you
you wouldn't
know,
die,
and as
you
soon as
know,
you wouldn't die, because they wanted you to finish their
their book, Railroad.
150 page yeah, their adventure paths. God, I hope they stop doing that.
I don't think they will.
They're just not good at it.
No.
They're just not good at it.
I'm very curious, and it's a slightly tangent off the subject. I'm kind of a tangent at all. But I'm curious, dude, what they're going to do when the new thing comes out. They're going to focus hardcore on just the online, and I
Right,
think we're all fairly certain it's going to fail miserably because of technology issues, because of buy-in, because
right,
people don't want to pay a monthly fee, because people are
right,
going to get pissed because inevitably they're going to have, oh, you want your card to have +1 dagger, $5 of real cash,
right.
right? It's just not going to be good. They're not going to. It's a great
I
idea
know.
with this. It's going to have really shit poor execution, and you're going to lose a player base. There's going to be a division, a digital and an analog divide in the RPG industry, right? But I think that because of what this so strongly focusing on, everything that they do is going to start first and foremost as a module or an adventure path or whatever you want, a railroad for their VTT. And
Mhm.
only secondarily will it be published. And so, what you design and how you design it for a VTT has really a huge difference in how you would do something for pen and paper, right?
Yeah, but they weren't even getting pen and paper right,
They weren't. So, it's going to
without
get
the
worse,
VPP. Yeah,
right?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out. Like I said, I'm really trying to, and I think I said it like a couple weeks ago when we were on Eric's thing. Like
Yeah.
whatever Wizards of the Coast does, really doesn't going to take any bearing on what my
No,
gaming stuff any
not anymore.
longer.
Yep.
And I'd rather talk about creators who create stuff
Mm-hmm.
that we want to do. And
Mm-hmm.
before Mike rudely interrupted me, it's like God,
Uh-huh.
it's like when Mike's on there, I feel like I'm dealing with two Robs. I do. I'd say sometimes it's just
I think Mike is used to having a 2-group show. You know what I mean? A 2-person show.
but
Him
yeah,
and Eric
because
talking.
I was talking, because I was trying to express, like, we're doing a disservice to the creators who are creating very good content by only talking about the dumbasses from the coast, and
Dumbasses from the coast. Yeah, true.
and we need to talk about them. And then I saying, but we're so like like in like shards, and then he interrupted me and said, "Of course," it's like I get that, Mike, but because we're so separated, we have to make an extra effort to talk about these
Yeah, the
creators,
good stuff.
the good stuff, because for every minute that we talk about the dumbasses from the coast, we take away, an opportunity of somebody learning about something that we found cool. That's why I love us doing that, what we found cool today, or this week. What's our cool
Yeah,
thing of the
yeah.
week? And just showing what's his name's that the map maker,
Mm-hmm.
you showing, I mean, Goodman Games effort and keeping Jaquel's Jaqua's dungeons alive, and
Yeah.
you know hopefully be around for another couple generations for people to
Mm-hmm.
play it and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And that, whether that's 5e or not, that's great. I mean, I don't care what system you play, that's great, but I think it needs to be a concentrated effort between content creators like us, even
Mm-hmm.
though I'm using content in air quotes in the loosest of terms,
Yeah.
but that we give these people their nods and try to stay away from the Wizards of the Coast, because some people, they're gonna check it out, they're gonna like it, and there's gonna be a whole generation of people who are gonna join in, and that's gonna be their D&D.
Yeah.
And I mean that's got to be, that's got to you got to be okay with that.
Yeah, that's the thing, and you got to find a way. I mean, I know we're all just get off my lawn, asshole, little kids
right.
with your blue hair and you're wanting to
You
play like
guys use a
quadruple
homebrew.
classed, Ninja Turtle half quad, whatever human person, but at the
Right.
same time, some of these people, like, they want to try the old school, and if you just look down on them and dismiss them as stereotypical whatever the hell, they're not going to be welcome, not going to feel welcome, we're not going to try it, and we're going to lose a generation of people who we could play with or to carry on what we do. So while we all may mock some of their sensibilities and some of the archetypes that they model their PCs after, and some of the bullshit nonsense derivative crap that they call an adventure path, at the same time, we gotta help show them what really it could be all about, in a good way. And so that you got to just try your best to put away
So
preconceived conceptions about it all and try to bring them into the fold.
I didn't bring this up, like a couple weeks ago. I ran a game. I ran a game for 18 people.
Whoa, when the hell was this, dude?
It was at work.
Work?
Yeah, so at work they have, on certain nights of the week, they have groups of kids come in during like the evening hours and stuff, and they asked the person who runs the group of kids and everything, asked me to run them a game, and because it was like based off teamwork and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, the lady had no idea what role playing was or anything. So basically, okay. So I said, yeah, that'd be great. Not knowing she didn't understand role playing.
Oh.
And then she told me, like, yeah, there should be about 18. And I'm like, 18?
18 people.
yeah, I don't like 18. I was like, that's kind of
a lot.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot, even if you cut it in half, kind of thing. And I'm like, well, how long do I have to run this game? Hour and a half.
Oh, Jesus Christ! What?
No, I'm not even joking. I'm not exaggerating.
That's like, one round of one combat with 18 people.
Well, okay, so I'm like, okay. so I was talking to her. It's like, this is going to be very difficult. So my first my first thought to do this was to recruit 2 other DMs and then
Yeah.
like divide them up. You know, if we got 18, 6 each, and we could run, you know, maybe a little bit of something. Well, the other the girls that were going to run them, they just like vanished for those 2 weeks. I didn't see them. I didn't know where the hell they went.
Oh my God.
So the night before, so I created this system where it was shadow. Or I didn't create shadow dark, but I used the shadow dark system. And when I say that, not really. I used, you know, D20 type things,
Okay.
but I used the pre-rolled pre-gens. And what
Yep.
I did is I made teams of the same character. So, like, just say I had Gorg the fighter.
Yeah.
2 people would be playing Gorg the fighter. They do have their own character sheets, but
Interesting.
they'd have Team Gorg,
Okay.
and then
That's
they
a
had
cool
Team
approach.
Thing. So that way, when they and then what I did to their I don't think. Let me see if I have it here.
That's an interesting approach, man. Two
Well,
players playing one character.
yeah. So now I divided it in half. So now I'm down to 9. You know, let's see if I have it here. I might not have a copy of one left. But what I did, because like only one person in the group has any gaming experience whatsoever. So I went through the character sheet and I color coded everything with highlighters. So
Okay.
if they needed to find their hit points, that was yellow. If they needed to
Okay.
find their armor class, that was green. If they needed to, so I made everything try to, you know, be very color coded, friendly, and that. And then of course eye candy. They got attacked by a horde of bumbles.
All right.
Like so basically I arranged the tables around there.
Yeah.
I let them play whatever they wanted, whatever they, you know, they could make their guy into, you know, girl, whatever, into the thing. And then I had a table in the middle, had them around there. And then I would put like the bumble on the table, and I said, "You see a bunch of these?" And then I just have them roll.
Yeah.
I haven't learned the dice. Roll the big one.
Yep.
Because I couldn't roll
Yes.
D20. Roll the big one. Roll the big one. Do the big one. And just kind of teach them some basic stuff. And then the final boss battle was against Orcus here. So
nice.
Like while they were talking, I'd have them kind of like, ooh,
yeah,
kind of thing.
And these are how old players?
They were anywhere from 13 to 18.
That's good.
And then what I made them do is, instead of like, you know, rolling a regular D20, I got the chunks out. So they big D. So if you're gonna, I said, when you fight the big monster, you got to roll the big D20 kind of thing. And you know, I don't know how I did it, but I got through it.
Yeah.
Got them excited enough that, you know, I got most of it. I think out of 18, I think 15 survived.
Okay.
Or not survived. I mean, was remaining in the game. 3 of them left. They just didn't like it. The one person who didn't like it was the 5e player.
Okay.
And they didn't like it because it wasn't 5e.
Yeah.
Which their expectations was, you know, and I understand that. We talked afterwards, and I kind of talked to them about, well, the reason why I'm doing this is I'm hoping that you'll run a game.
Yeah.
You know, I'm hoping you'll take this opportunity, and now they run a game weekly.
That's good. So it worked.
It did for now. I mean, the attention span is pretty fickle, but maybe even if you get a couple of them to hook onto it. But yeah, that was a lot.
That is a big generational difference. The attention span thing is huge. I mean, it can't be discounted when you're trying to play with somebody. I mean, it's hard enough when we all get old and we have distractions and attention span issues, a different story, right? But when you're young like that and your world is 30-second TikTok videos and you can't sit down to watch Dune 2 because it requires too much attention, you know, things like that. It's like you can't have the focus for a long, in-depth campaign when it's hard to read a book, right? Yeah. If you can't read a basic fiction book, you know, and enjoy it and have the patience to do it without constantly checking your phone and shit, it's going to be hard to run a long-term campaign with these folks. But maybe that's what Wizards is seeing. Maybe that's why they're doing this VTT thing, because you can set up a quick 3-hour game with a bunch of people, and it's online. They're clicking. You know what it might be? Maybe they're freaking smarter than we think, and maybe they're targeting the future and ignoring the past. Meaning us. You know.
Wait, the Flint said something here. Well, Mike, I do not have a house brew death rule. No, I basically just kind of use the, if somehow you get 0 hit points, you're unconscious, -1, you're assuming room temperature. And Joe and I think I can speak for Joe. We are not resurrectionists.
No, does not exist.
Yeah. I mean, mine, I don't say mine doesn't exist. Mine comes at a cost that may, if first you have to be able to, even have someone who would even want to bring you back to life.
Yeah.
First of all, because the cost is high.
Yes.
And then also I would role play the shit out of that. If there was some sort of situation where someone needed, that's not a simple thing. You're going to have to tear this person's soul awake, and I have like 7 gods of death. You're going to have to pry this soul away from one of these gods of death. What
and then cut a deal, right? Like some sort of Gaius or quest or something like that. You know what I mean? You have to now must do things for that person. You essentially become a paladin or some kind of a devout follower of that god who brought you back.
Right.
So your old character is essentially gone in terms of he loses a lot of his sense of freedom of action.
Right.
Because he becomes like a priest or a paladin or a devout follower of this dude. And he'll bring you back for maybe a special purpose or special mission. I've not done that, but if I were to do resurrection, it would be only under those types of circumstances.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a legit reason, because there's no other reason why they would expend so much.
Yeah, power,
kind of thing.
And why would they do it for a first level shithead? They're not doing it like 15th level. Like if you're high enough level to make an impact of the world, they would do it, right? But if you're just some first level thief in the back alleys of New Orleans trying to mug somebody and you die in an alley with a knife in your heart, and in 18, why would they do that?
Or you could do the whole, you have a path. This is where one path leads. This is where another path leads.
Yeah.
One, you are my champion. The other, I will let you fall into the claws of death. Eternal death.
That's true too. Yeah.
Kind of thing. And you could play it several ways to make it somewhat interesting, even for a low level character. But just making it a simple like mulligan is
you're back with minus XP or something, which who gives a shit, right? Or some con penalty or something used to be, whatever it was.
Oh, Mike said he would develop Frankenstein complications.
Nice.
There you go. Now, what did Flint say there? There should be a video of a new player playing OSR. Cue the montage of just being killed over and over again. And then at the end, they are asked, so what did you think? And they say they loved it.
They loved it. Fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you get to, like, I think I give you this example for you. Some of the young players I've had in the past, they got so afraid to make a mistake that they didn't want to make any choices.
Yeah.
Or they just wanted to be like kind of all powerful. I remember what I did with the one kid.
Yeah. Give him everything he wants right at the outset.
I told the kid didn't want to do anything. He goes, well, I want to be the most powerful thing. And I'm like, well, what fun's in that? And he goes, well, I want to be able to, defeat all my enemies. I'm like, okay, you're the most powerful creature in the world. Now you can defeat everything. What do you want to do next? You want all the money? Boom, you got all the money. Now you got all the money, and you're the toughest thing. You want all the you want to own everything in the world. Boom, you got it all and everything. I said, how fun was that?
Yeah. It's the fun is in the striving, not in the acquisition.
So let's get down to that level, like I like to call it, just below suck, and let's have some fun.
Yep.
And start trying to, let's do some suffering and surviving, because that's where the fun is at. Yeah.
That should be on the motto of the Comor Forest: suffering and surviving. Maybe.
Maybe.
Shit, dude. I know you're sick. We tried to go for an hour, but as always, we went over. So it's probably a good way to end it with suffering and surviving. With the flu, it kind of fits exactly what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
So
did the older rules were raised as cause subject to lose a point of con?
I believe
they did. They lost a con. And then my favorite one back in the day was having, it was not resurrection, it was reincarnation, where they come back as some random creature. And that was sometimes it come like we did it one time, and I can't remember. Somebody came back as a bugbear or
Yeah.
something like that. It was so great. But the cool thing was about it is like, it was I think it was like the not second edition D&D, but like first edition with Unearthed Arcana.
Mm.
And so you had like a fighter or a mage, specialized mage,
Yeah.
but then he got transformed into a bugbear. So now he still had all its smarts, but he was like as strong and as stealthy as a bugbear was.
Well, my guy, Sir the Fist of Uther, back in the Flail Snails days, he twice
Thanks, guys.
reincarnated. He started off
Twice.
as a half elf fighter, magic user, thief thing or something, right? He had all the classes, and then he died, and I think he came back. He got reincarnated, and I rolled the dice, rolled the D100, came back as a
That's
human,
so
I believe. Right, so as a human, you can't be multi-classed or anything or something like that, or it wasn't dual class or whatever
Right.
it was.
You can't be you can be dual class, but you can't be
But
multi-class.
yeah, so I
If that's
lost
the worst.
everything, so I just came back as a fighter, right? Because I got to choose. I think it was you could choose what class you are. Then he
Gotcha.
died, and I came back as a bugbear, right? I think it was, or a hobgoblin. It was a hobgoblin, right?
Hobgoblin. Okay.
And so now I started out as a half elf, went to human, now ended up as a hobgoblin. And hobgoblins in the old rules had a level cap, so I was like permanently stuck at 6th level or something. I think they said.
Oh, I didn't even know they had a level for hobgoblin.
I think
or was
there
that
was somewhere.
was that just for flail snails?
It was what we did back then was every DM had their own rules and interpretations, and we all abided by whatever ruling the last DM made for our guy, right? So whoever it was, maybe it was Sean Stanford. I don't know who I died. I think I might have died in Dark Tower actually with Sean Stanford's game. Right. And so he was a great DM. I don't know what he's doing anymore. I'd like to play one of his games again, but he ran us through there. And I think he died in there and he came back as a bugbear, next thing, or a hobgoblin rather. And next thing you know, I was like, all right, well, is there a level cap? He goes, yeah. And I think he threw out a 5 or 6 and I capped there. And I was already at that level. So I effectively couldn't level up anymore. But I was still playing. I maxed out my level. I had some magic items. I was never going to get higher, right? But I don't give a shit. I still had some magic items. I'd still, a lot of
Unless
stuff.
You died again or got
and then what, right? I mean, that's the thing, So it was kind of fun, but it was Gonzo, right? I mean, it was Flail Snails. That by definition was a Gonzo style. You're playing with multiple DMs across different games and systems, and then
multiple genres and
genres crashing together.
Everything.
PC races and classes, and this guy was from Ozark, this guy was from BX, this guy was from Lamentations, this guy was from AD&D, this guy was from DCC, and you're all mashed together in some weird thing, right? And the DM at the beginning, I always made a point, hey, dude, just so you know, I got this, that, the other thing. You may want to nerf that or, whatever, just in case. I don't want to drop nukes on you. I got a laser gun from the last game. Does this work in your game? You know what I mean? No. Or lasers don't work. All right, cool. So I don't want to use my laser gun or whatever it was. So, you just do this thing. And, you be fair to the DM. You don't want to come into a game and drop nukes all over his campaign just because you got it in the last one, right? So it was a fun agreement we all had, a gentleman's agreement of how we're going to run this together.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was pretty good how it came up. I mean, I thought it was a really good, a perfect mechanism for the Google Plus days.
I agree. I totally agree. We could all run the games right there and jump from a chat room right to the game. Yeah.
I wish I would have taken advantage of it. I never played in any of those games.
I learned so much. It was like boot camp for D&D because prior to that, I'd only really played with my friends, my brother, and a couple friends from high school. I never did the con thing. And online play was just kind of starting. I was playing in Eric stuff with you a little bit sometimes on Saturdays and Friday nights, but there wasn't much other DMs that I had played under and other players that I played with. So for a couple of years doing that back in the Google Plus days, it was like boot camp for both DMing and as a player. I learned so much. It was like I felt like I leveled up a level or two as both DM and player. It was kind of fun. Yeah, and you get to play with different people, all different kinds. So just learn tolerance and respect and understanding, and you learn different play styles, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we miss that these days.
Yeah, we really do.
Yeah,
really do. We even created something called Constant Con. It was a con that was constantly going on.
Yes, I remember that. Yes,
right. And so you would just list.
Was that a 24-hour? Or was that a whole weekend?
It was forever. It was just Constant Con is always on, right? And so you would just list the game under the Constant Con webpage or server or wherever the hell it was, and it was just a constant convention. It was just basically a bunch of it was like a bulletin board for people saying LFG, right? Looking for group. And you would just post something there and under the Constant Con rubric, and you know that on Saturday so and so is running a game from 10 to 2 Eastern,
no,
and you could join them.
That sounds
It was
like
nice.
A lot of fun.
I wish we had a little more of that these days, you know.
Yeah.
But there's no cohesive center like Google Plus was. There's nothing like that anymore.
No.
And nowadays you don't want to risk it because you might get the people who are going to get in there, record your show, and call you an ist or a phobe for something, right?
You do have to be careful.
It's not worth it. You know, you're better off just playing with the people you know, unfortunately, unless you're going to go to an actual con, you know. So yeah. Anyway, we tried to say goodbye 10 minutes ago, then I derailed it again. So let's get you back to sleep, dude.
Thanks everyone for joining us.
Guys.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, guys. Great show.
Yeah. Thanks, Flint.
Take care, y'all.